Hi, it's Kathy, and I am coming to you as Bishopstone Yarns from the corner of my studio in Tasmania, which is a little island to the south of Australia. And as you can probably guess from looking behind me, this is a crafting podcast. I am usually talking about knitting, sewing, recently a little bit of weaving, which I've started to get back into, and sewing, so some quilting and hand sewing and things like that. But today I am just going to be talking about knitting. I've got an almost finished project and a whip that I'm going to talk about. And yes, so this will be a bit of like a May wrap up of what I have been up to. Now, I have been away. I've been away for a couple of weeks, and as I was saying, I come from Tasmania, which is the little island to the south of Australia, and I have been away on holiday up into the north of Australia. So I went up to travelled from the north in a place called Darwin, and kind of went inland a little bit, and then went across to Western Australia and across onto Broome. So most of that is kind of like travelling what they kind of like, it's a remote kind of area, and kind of like pretty much in the outback, but not fully outback, as in like it's not central Australia, it's kind of hugging the northwest coast of Australia. So we are talking quite remote, very, very different to where I live. So very tropical, very hot. I had a lot of, I did struggle a little bit with the heat, not so much the heat, but the humidity. We did a bit of walking while we were away, and that was always great fun, but the heat was a bit much for me. I'm not a heat kind of person. I do like the heat, but I don't like having to walk in humidity, like lots of heat and humidity. No, do not work for me. So yes, that is basically what I have been doing. I'm about to tell you about what I've been knitting, and I just can't work out where I've just put this pattern. Oh yes, I do. Hold on. Sorry, dropping my wool already. For those of you who were here last time, you might recognize this wool here, which I was working on a project last time. And if I can just grab this piece of paper to show you. And I had trouble saying this last time, but this is my almost finished, as in like I have finished knitting, but I have not sewn in the ends or finished this one off. This is the Fiorellino. I'm just going to go with Fiorellino. Yeah, I'll show it to you, by Isabel Kramer. Now, Isabel Kramer, I actually love her patterns. I really, really, really love hers. So here it is. If you know how to pronounce that, then I will let you pronounce that. But nope, where are we? There we go. Here is the jumper. And so I knitted this on, let me take my glasses off so I can have a little look-see here. It was a 3.5 and a 3.75 Knit Pro circular needles. So these were the two needles that I used to knit this jumper. And if you want, of course I don't have that yet, the pink yarn with me at the moment, but if you want any of the details, you can go onto Ravelry and find me on Bishopstone, and I have listed everything, all my project details down on Ravelry. So these are the two needles I used, and this is my finished jumper. As you can tell, I still have balls attached to it. So I finished this absolutely gorgeous jumper. This was an option of, you could either have it, oh, I think that's the back, this is the front. You could either have it short sleeve or long sleeve, if you can see here in the picture. Ta-da! She's wearing it as a t-shirt type style with short sleeves. I decided to go for the long sleeves. And so, yeah, I just love the detail. Absolutely love the detail. I'll see if I can stand up and get a bit closer to show you the lovely detail in this. Look. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at that. Look at those patterns. That is just one of the most gorgeous yokes I have seen. So this was a top-down, of course, pattern. And those of you who've been around for a while will know that that's one of my favourites. So I like doing a top-down. And then, you know, splitting the sleeves and the body, and then knitting the body, and then coming back and doing the sleeves. So there it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'm almost thinking about, should I knit a short sleeved one, like a more summery kind of version, even though we are in winter at the moment down here in Tasmania. And look at the little detail on the sleeves. We've even got like a little kind of cuff kind of detail as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and I love the colour. I love the whole thing. It's just absolutely gorgeous. This was lovely yarn, and of course I cannot remember the name of it, but like I said, actually, if you probably go back to my previous video, I will have talked about the yarn in that. I was just looking around to see if I could find the yarn, but I can't. So there we go. Absolutely love it. Really, really happy with this one. And there's a little bit of a detail, if I can kind of show you as well, down here, just above. Oh, look, you can see where I've joined the yarn there. Don't look at that too closely. You can see a little detail down here just above the rib, which is really lovely. I must admit, with this jumper, I have been trying a few different kind of joining techniques. There seem to be a lot of techniques out there at the moment for joining yarn while you're knitting. And I know that the general rule is, you know, in the good old days, you always joined here at the side, when you were making pieces that were like paste pieces, you know what I mean? When you knitted a jumper, when you had a front and a back and two sleeves and you joined them all together at the end, you always waited till the yarn was at the side and then you joined the yarn there, or you did like a split splice type join with wool, which is like so pure wool. So like being a hand spinner, you can quite easily split splice, you know, break your yarns. Like if you've got two yarns, then you can separate them and join, you know, one of each together and give it a little bit of a rub with a little bit of moisture, and it will kind of felt together a little bit and create quite an even join. But then you still have ends that you have to just kind of sew in a little bit. There have been a few different types of joins I've used, like the Russian join and things like that over the years, and it's always a little bit tricky when you get something that's quite lace weight. Joining lace weight together can be a little bit tricky because you can't do a Russian join, which is where you get your yarn and you use a needle to go back through, kind of like you weave in and out of the yarn itself, and so you end up with two pieces that are joined together, I guess a little bit like this. That's the best way I can try and describe it. So yeah, I've been playing around with a few different ways of joining yarn. I'm still not sure that I've actually come up with one that I like the best. I mean, Russian join where you get two yarns and they kind of fold back on themselves is great when you're going to do a colour change, because you can't split splice two different colours, otherwise you'll end up with a barber pole kind of look of two different colours together. And I mean, I guess everybody has their favourite way of joining yarns. Some people will just tie a knot and keep going. Some people will still stick to the, okay, just putting it in at the side. If you've got a seam, it is so much easier because you can sew it into the seam and you don't see it at all. In the round, I've kind of thought, especially with some balls, when you're doing a really long round row, if you stop at the end, you are wasting, well, feels like you're wasting quite a bit of yarn, just to make sure that you stop at the side, you don't get caught halfway across. I think in this jumper, I'm just going to have a look and see. I think, you know, I've got a few that are kind of halfway across. As I said, I haven't blocked this. I haven't finished the ends. I haven't blocked this, but you know, you still, we've got a join here, if you can see. I mean, you can't really see it on this side. It shows up a little bit more on the underside. But then who's going to be looking under my jumper? Hopefully no one, especially not when I'm wearing it. And I'm kind of also hoping that once I wash this and block it, that smooths out a little bit as well. Hopefully it'll smooth out a little bit on the underside. Yes, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks. What is everyone's favourite joining? What is your favourite way of joining? I've got one here I can show you actually where I have split the strands and added the new strand and the old strand together and knitted it. And you can see I still have, so here I have just half of what the yarn, so this is 2 strands, this is would have been a 4-strand yarn. I've got two strands here and they were left, and I had the other 2 strands of this would have been joined with 2 strands from the new ball and joined together and then knitted, and then but you're still left with ends and you still have to then sew those ends in, you know, just to make it neat and tidy. If you don't split the yarn, as in you don't separate the plies at all, and if you just add your 2 yarns together, let's just say you've got 2 and 2, so this yarn is going to be 2 ply, you know, you've got 1 and 2 plies rolled together, this one is 2, and you just join those together, you can see already what's going to happen. You're going to end up with a yarn that is twice as thick for a certain number of stitches while you join them together, and that will show up in your jumper. So you will have a section in your jumper where it's let's just say 7 or 8 stitches are going to be a lot, double the thickness of all your other stitches, which is not, it is, I mean, it's going to show up. You're going to be able to see it, and for some people, I mean, I guess it may not worry them. For other people, it will worry them. You could hide it maybe under sleeves or somewhere, if it was somewhere here. But on the same side, if you're doing a lace pattern or something like that, it's going to also alter your lace pattern if it happens to fall in that kind of section. So I don't know. I mean, lots of different thoughts about how to join yarns. Let me know below what you think. See, like this here, hasn't been joined. This is just the start, so I will just have to sew this end in, and I will probably sew it in and kind of go, I can kind of show you here. I would probably just go down here a little bit and then to the side, and then just leave it in there. Usually with wool, once you've washed it a little bit and those fibers will kind of cling to each other a little bit. It's a little bit harder if you've, I guess, if you're doing something in acrylic. I mean, I'm not a huge user of acrylic at all, but I have made like, I do have a granny square blanket that I made out of acrylic simply because I wanted to make a blanket that I could put on the couch, and if the dog got on it or the cat got on it, I could just throw it in the washing machine to wash it and not have to worry about it. That I found was a lot harder because when you're joining the yarns and the acrylic, it doesn't cling to each other. It just kind of sits there without being friendly to each other. And so I have found over time the ends, even though I've kind of sewn them in, the ends will just still pop out, and that's what's happening now with my my granny square blanket. Some of the ends are starting to pop out because, of course, even over the years they have not knitted together, or kind of like there's no way they're going to felt together because they're acrylic. They've got no reason to kind of like join or felt together. I don't know how you overcome that or what you do about it. If anyone else is and uses acrylic a lot or has an answer for that, I'd love to know what you do. But anyway, I have finished this one and I love it. So of course, once I had finished that one, excuse me, I've got to just duck down here, pick up my ball full again. And so as soon as I'd finished that one, I was like, I went on to knitting something over here that I will talk about in my next video because it's a bit of a surprise, and I have made it for someone. I haven't gifted it to them yet, so I don't want to show you at the moment, but I'll show you once I've gifted it to them. So once I finished that, I was left with nothing. I mean, I came back from my trip and I finished this project, and then I was like, what am I going to do? And so I decided, I had gone out and bought the wool for this project. So I thought, well, I'll go back and I'll get some more of that. Of course, I went back to the big department store that I had got the wool from, and they didn't have any. There was none there. They had a sale on, but I couldn't find the wool that I had previously bought, which often happens in big department stores like that. And so what I ended up buying, and this is a cautionary tale to yarn buyers as well. So I went in there, had a look, and thought, well, I want to get some wool. I want wool. I don't want acrylic, so I wasn't even looking at the acrylic section. I was looking in the wool section, and then I came across a brand that I hadn't heard of before, and it was called Scandi Wool, and I got all excited. Oh wow, Scandi Wool! Oh, and it was called Annette Erickson Scandi Wool, and I just like thought, wow, this looks great. So here we are. This is what I have got, and this is in the colourway light grey. And look, I'll show you here. So Scandi Wool. Oh, and I just think I got a bit excited with the label and the name, Bank Scandi Wool, Scandinavian wool. I mean, who's not going to love some Scandinavian wool in this lovely colour? So I got 5 of these and I got 10 of these. And this is the colourway denim. Maybe if I had paid more attention to even where it says here, now I'm seeing this country of manufacture China, instead of just getting so excited with the fact that it said Scandi Wool, oh my gosh, Scandinavian wool, Scandinavian name, oh my gosh, how exciting is this? I would have looked a tad bit closer and realised that this is 50% wool and 50% acrylic. This is not 100% wool at all, which is what I was looking for. And I bought 10 balls of this one. It was on sale, so not that that makes a difference, but so this was on sale, 50% wool, 50% acrylic. I got it home before I realised that this was not. I just thought Scandi wool, it's wool, okay, and did not pay any attention whatsoever. I don't know why I didn't really look at the back and look at the percentages. I don't know what was going on with me at that point in time. I love the colour, absolutely love the colour. I love both the colours. So initially what I thought, I did have a reason for buying these, and I did have a project in mind. So years ago, I don't know how many years ago, but it was quite a long time ago, I had knitted myself a jumper in very similar colours to this, and it was Cedar Point by Espace Tricot. I don't know, Espace Tricot, is that how you say it? They are a Canadian wool shop who also have YouTube. Now, previously, the two ladies who own it now are the second owners of the shop. So previously there were another two ladies who used to own the shop, and they had pattern designs, and Cedar Point was one of their designs. So Cedar Point is a kind of like a blue, well, I knitted it in blue down here and kind of like grey up the top, and then you have kind of like stripes of the grey and blue alternating, changing from the grey to the blue. It is a top-down jumper, but it's not a raglan. It is one where you have, you know, increases are all the way around, evenly around the top, and I have loved that jumper so much and worn it lots and lots and lots, but now it is getting quite holey and falling apart underneath the arms. So I thought what I'll do is I'll knit myself another one. This is what I was buying this yarn for, was to make another one of these of the Cedar Point. So I got this, I came home, thought I'll go and get the pattern. Could not find my pattern. I usually keep all like the jumpers and things and cardigans, tops, scarves, things that I have made in a separate folder, which is called Have Made. Very simple. So the ones that I've already made that are kind of like individual patterns, not ones that are in books, but you know, I've got them all in one folder. I went through there and I couldn't find my pattern at all. So then I started looking through my other folders, and you can't really see it, but over here I've got like folders. Oh, this is my, so this one here, this is my Have Made folder. And I've got a few other boxes there with patterns in them and stuff patterns that I've made. Could not find my Cedar Point pattern anywhere. I thought I had seen it not that long ago, because I had actually gone through a lot of my patterns recently, looking at what I would like to make going forward, like for the next year and things like that. And I still want to make some cardigans, so I was looking for some cardigan patterns, and I thought I came across it. I thought I went, oh look, there's that pattern, can remake that. Could not find it anywhere, so I thought that's okay. I will go onto the site and see if I can get it. So I went back onto Espace Tricot and then realised, the price of it is like, I think it might have been free originally, and now it was a paid for pattern. And then I thought, do I want to pay for a pattern that I already have? And I think, I'm pretty sure I still have here somewhere. So then I thought, no, I'm not going to print it off again. I'm not going to pay for it, because I probably, as soon as I pay for it and get it, I will find it here somewhere. Still haven't found it. So then I thought, right, I've got to go and find another pattern. I have to find a pattern to use for this jumper, excuse me. And that, you know what it's like. You start looking for patterns and then you go into Ravelry, you put in the patterns. I put in the Scandi wool. So I put in Scandi wool and thought, well, maybe there might be some pattern ideas on that. No, couldn't find anything that was a pattern idea for Scandi wool. So then I started looking at the other filters I started adding was the weight of the wool and the needles that I was hoping to use. And that, of course, is difficult because, you know, not all wools are made equal. We all know that, don't we? We all know a DK is not a DK for something else. A worsted is not a worsted for anything else. I love 5-ply wool. It is my favourite go-to. I have lots and lots of patterns for 5-ply wool. I do not have as many patterns for this kind of yarn. So I had to then go and think about and see if I could find a pattern to fit that wool. So what I came up with was another Isabel Kramer pattern, which I bought. So, I mean, I could have gone out and bought the Cedar Point, but the point of the Cedar Point one is I'm sure I have it here somewhere. I don't know where. Where have I put it? I've probably put it in a different folder for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I just didn't think I was going to go out and pay for something that I think I already have, if that makes any sense. So I went out and bought another pattern. I don't know. It kind of makes sense in my mind. But anyway, so I have bought, and here we go. I'm going to say it, I don't know if it's right, Sieve, S-E-V-E, by Isabel Kramer. Here we go. Very hard to kind of show you, but like, so there it is. Yet again, she is showing you it with no sleeves. I'm going to put at least some sort of a sleeve on here because, yeah, I'm not as petite as her and I'm not quite so happy about having just a top that comes to there. I mean, it's kind of a vest kind of a thing, but like I will add sleeves, bit of a sleeve. I don't know. I might maybe 3/4 sleeve, half sleeve. I don't know. I'll wait and see as I'm going, but I'll definitely be putting some sort of a sleeve there because even though it looks lovely on her, I don't know that my arms really look that great in a sleeveless top. So I will show you what I have done. I am working on 5mm, I think it is, needles, circular. Oh, it will be a little bit hard to show you because it's on circular, and this is an interesting construction as well, so I'm not really going to go into it, but you kind of knit part of the back and then you go back up to the top and you join the front. So here we are, very simple kind of neckline. I'm not usually like a boat neck kind of, but this one is not that wide because I do not like this whole kind of like wide boat neck kind of look because I kind of go too cold for me. If I'm going to be wearing a nice jumper, I want to have something that's nice and warm around my neck. I don't want something that's way out here slipping off my shoulders. But here, look at this. Here's the front with this beautiful pattern, absolutely gorgeous. Already got the sleeves in here, so I think this is like her design. If her picture there, you can imagine that would just be the sleeve cap. But like I was saying, I'm going to put some sort of a sleeve on there because I want, a bit more coverage on my arms than that. But here, look at this absolutely gorgeous gorgeous, gorgeous front. And the pattern is just gorgeous. And look at the back. The back just has one little line. I've got to stand up to show you, so if you can kind of see. So the back has just one little row. The front has, I think, 7. So you can see across there we've got 7 different pattern repeats. The interesting thing about this is kind of, can't even really see, but so this is how much I've done so far. The interesting thing about this is the way it is designed is you can wear it either way. This could be your front if you would like, or this could be your front. Or you can just alternate from day to day or how you're feeling. So if you can kind of imagine, you could have da-da-da-da-da-da, or da-da-da-da-da, like this. Equally beautiful, but I think I prefer the pattern at the front. Party at the front and serious at the back. I think that's more my kind of thing. I'm not quite sure. Oh, it'd be hard to show you. I can't go back any further because the chair is behind me, but I'm not sure how much further down. Probably, I mean, I want to come down to my jeans. Well, can't even show you that. But yeah, I want to come down to at least just a little bit below my jeans, I think. But I'm really liking this. So that pattern is really lovely. It's not the cedar point, but it is something totally different, and I'm loving it. And now this is the third Isabella Kramer pattern that I have made, and I am eyeing off a few of her other ones as well. I actually had a thought in my mind as well about I'd love to do a jumper in like a grey and a blue stripe kind of pattern. There's quite a few of those around at the moment, but I just really like the idea of a striped top. I don't have any striped jumpers at all, but that would be lovely. So really enjoying this knit. It's a really quite an easy repeat, and there's no shaping in the body at all, so it's quite easy. It just keeps going, very easy. But I do have to say one other thing. Maybe I won't say this too loudly, but while I was there getting excited about this wool and whoa, hold me back, and not paying any attention to actually what was in this, I might have bought some more of it in a different colour. So I did buy, I know, I mean, how did I not look at the back of the yarn to see? I was like, I'm even looking at it now. Could I be wrong? Could these ones be different? No. This is exactly the same as well. But look at those colours. This one is dark grey, and this one is eucalyptus. Look at those colours. See, they would make quite a nice stripy, I reckon. Bit of a stripy jumper, maybe. Not quite the nautical blue and white kind of theme, but you know. I don't know. So I have these as well. I actually think my more of a thought would be to knit a jumper in that kind of colour with this as, you know, the highlight. Somehow as the highlight, kind of maybe even grey sleeves, green body might be nice. But then of course I still have to find a pattern for that as well. But wait, there's more, she says. Yes, I did buy some organic cotton. So this is 100% organic cotton. Yes. 100% cotton. 100% cotton. I didn't make a mistake with this one. So this is a Keepsake Fibre Co. And look at that. Look at that colour. It's like an orangey rusty colour. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, my thought with this was, and I can't even remember how many I've got, maybe about 5 balls, was to make a blanket with this. Or maybe just a little summer tea. Who knows? I don't know. You can kind of see I was having a bit of excitement because I had nothing to knit, and then decided I would go a little bit crazy with buying some wool that was on sale, because the wool that I actually went there to get wasn't there. So I ended up getting all this other stuff. So yes, wish me luck. I will finish this one, and then I will have to ponder what I'm going to do with the green and the grey and the white. I don't know. So I've got the green, the grey and the white. Maybe I could do something with all 3. I don't know. I'm not sure. I love this grey. But, or maybe I will actually find my Cedar Point pattern, and then I could just use the green and the white, the green and the grey to do my Cedar Point top. But anyway, I will keep knitting on this one for the moment and enjoy it. Okay, I have talked for long enough now, and I hope everyone has found some time to do some crafting and has had some nice relaxing crafting time. If you have knitted any of those things, or if you've done any of Isabel Kramer's patterns, I'd love to hear from you. What are you working on at the moment, and what are your thoughts on my... I don't know. I still don't understand how I did not look at the back of that wool. But now that I've bought it, I feel like I have to use it. And even though it's not really my go-to kind of wool, and I would have preferred wool, I was the one who bought it. I didn't check it. I had a bit of a moment. So what can I say? I'm getting to that age, I guess. I'm getting to an age where I really just need to, embrace the fact that sometimes I have a moment and I don't check things properly. Anyway, I hope you're all well, and I will chat to you later. Bye.